And we kick off with a man we're probably going to hear less of on talkSPORT for a little while anyway. Well, let's hope for a long time, in the nicest possible way if he's listening, because he's back in football as one of the coaches at West Ham.
Yeah, I look forward to him coaching in the Championship next season.
See, come on, try and cheer up some
Christmas thoughts.
Try and cheer up some West Ham fans. Good old Andy, bitter to the end because they beat him earlier this month. So anyway, let's hear from Stuart Pearce then, and this is some of his finest moments. We'll start with Stuart telling us that Big Sam is a statistician. Well, we think that's what he's saying.
I've got another heading here, statistician. I think this is what Arsenal can learn from Big Sam. Stam's a statistician.
Stam's a statistician. Big Stam's a statistician. Yeah, I think it's one of Adam Ant's, isn't it?
Here's Stuart now with Sam Matterface during an FA Cup game, and he's having his photo taken with some young fans.
They've met a FA Cup and England legend, and as he does that, the Preston players eventually come out of the dressing room.
Sam, unless these boys watch Pate News, they wouldn't have a clue who I am.
Pate News, do you ever watch it?
I love Pate News.
It's really good. It's kind of the rough Brussels I'm a big fan of. Bit of duck pate goes down
so I'm not
well.
too sure about their foie gras section.
No, it's a bit morally sus, isn't it?
It is.
Now, this is Stuart giving Danny Kelly a taste of his forthcoming rap album.
First, I must welcome, still watching the lawnmowers, no doubt, make their way around Anfield, Stuart Pearce. Hi, Stuart.
We've got the hose out there.
Have you really?
Okay,
fine.
Yeah.
It's a bit harsh.
Here's Psycho now, imparting some old football wisdom.
There's an old saying in football that says that you're only as good as what you leave behind when you pack in.
Haven't heard that one before.
No,
I'm not sure grammatically it stands up, but we'll put a red pen through that and give it another go.
And now here's Stuart with Sam Matterface again, and with some top-class punditry.
Do you know the cartoon character Postman Pat?
Yes.
Courtois reminds me of him in his look.
Really?
Yeah.
In his look.
And that little black and white cat that he's got in the corner of the net.
He often keeps it there. I thought that was a case for his gloves and stuff, but apparently not. This is Stuart chatting about Spurs.
I was at a rugby match last night and bumped into somebody and said, I see Tottenham lost. Yeah, they always do this. Always do it. Unbelievable. And you're thinking, I mean, it's almost like Chinese rumours, isn't it?
Chinese Rumours, yeah, that was the album that Fleetwood Mac made just for the Chinese market. Cleaned up. You should hear it
I can
hear it in Chinese.
Tremendous. Here's Stuart now at Brighton versus Man City.
So what he's done, he's used his knee and his chest to bundle the player over. With whatever item of sort of menswear you use, it's still a foul.
I mean, I'm no doctor, but I don't regard the chest or a knee as an item of menswear, do you?
Really. We never used to sell them in the shop.
I'm sure you didn't know, that's right. So, this is Stuart, back alongside Sam again, discussing the former Hull manager Leonid Slutsky's playing career.
His playing career was cut short at 19. He was a goalkeeper, and he was injured when he was trying to get a cat out of a tree for a neighbour.
That is amazing. During a game?
Seems unlikely.
Very unlikely.
At which point they probably would have gone 6-0 down because the keeper was up a tree.
Unless it was Thibaut Courtois looking for Jess.
Jess. Could have been looking for Jess. That's very true, Andy, yeah.
Here's Stuart and Danny Kelly now, reflecting on the touchline spat earlier this year between Mark Hughes and Jose Mourinho.
Two different versions of events coming out from the touchline there, Stuart.
There often is, Dan, when managers have a tat-a-tat.
Tat-a-tats, yeah, they're fluent in French as well.
Marvellous.
This is Stuart Pearce reminiscing.
A lot of sports people really struggle for that, the adulation. Probably in my respect, I probably was fortunate, and I always, thank the Lord that I worked for a living and had 5 years as an electrician and probably just grounded myself.
Well, that's quite useful, isn't it?
If you're an electrician, it's very handy.
It's quite useful to be grounded, I think, you find generally.
He's an innovative man, Stuart, and someone never afraid to bring a new word into the football lexicon.
This was absolutely excellent. Got his head up, chipped it to the far post. Jesus has washed it on the volley.
Washed is a good word.
Yeah.
One of many, of course. Here he is with Jim Proudfoot, once again reinventing the English language.
They need Malta to score 3 goals to equalise in Slovakia. They then need Greece to not beat Gibraltar and Bosnia to win in Estonia, but by no bigger margin than Slovenia themselves win by today. You got that?
Jim, all I can do is give you a round of applause for that. That is top quality analysis.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
That could have been worse if he pronounced it differently, let's be honest.
That's true. And finally, Stuart, back alongside Saggers.
Monaco have got to score 2 more, haven't they, than Manchester City?
Yeah, I mean, they'll be looking at it and thinking to yourself, you look at the lowest possible denominum and say, look, we need to win the game 2-0.
Yeah, the lowest possible denominum, and of course that did remind us of something.
Denominum.
There he is, Stuart Pearce. Yes, top man, doing fine work now. Oh, anyway, let's return to the clips. And where will we be without the callers? And let's be honest. Well,
on our show, nowhere. We never take any calls.
We tend not to.
But as a station, yes.
Thankfully. Yeah, that's what you pointed out. Thankfully, other shows do. And so we salute them now. And we start with this caller to Jim White and Dean Ashton.
Dean Ashton, he was pants as a striker.
Thanks. Oh, that was very kind of you, Andy.
Is he in panto?
I'd like to think he's doing panto. Yes, he is. Of course he is, yeah.
This is a caller to breakfast.
Morning.
Hello, Rog.
Hi. I'm only ringing because Ray's on. I'm a big Arsenal fan and Ray's a big fan of mine.
Oh, talk yourself up, mate, why don't you?
Has he remembered?
Oh, he's in the Raj fan club and everything. He's got the badge and the card and he gets the newsletter. Here's one from the sports bar now.
You have got, pound for pound, the best centre-half in the country. You can talk about your Josh Stones. Let's talk about Josh Stones.
John Stones.
Yeah, stop saying Josh Stones. That's right. A new album.
That's a good clip there.
Yeah.
Another caller to Jim White again now.
You were panicking like a lot of people before on social media, no doubt, Ian, when you saw that team selection.
Well, I shuddered a bit, but I wasn't like, oh my God, what's he doing? Ah!
Good actor.
Yeah,
I'd like to think he'd be
bad,
with your first man in panto at the moment. So here's a very good example of Andy's favourite type of clip.
Let me go to Liverpool to Mike. Morning, Mike.
Morning, Mike.
Why do you like those so much, Andy? It's always been a favourite. They just repeat, but it's nerves, isn't it?
It's nerves, yeah. But I've got a thing about people getting people's names wrong, so I've always liked that.
Morning, Mike.
A very aggressive caller now with Danny Kelly.
Tom's a Manchester United fan in Birmingham. Hello, Tom.
Yes.
Hi, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you want some? Was that him?
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Was that the Wildston Raider? He sounded very aggressive, didn't he? Yeah. Now, this is Alan Brazil on breakfast doing his best to help out a caller on a competition who should definitely consider applying to appear on Tipping Point.
Celtic. Who's manager now? He's had a great season last year.
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers.
Correct. And before that, little fella, red hair. Who?
John Barnes.
John Barnes, little fella, red hair.
Brilliant, isn't it?
I think you've got the wrong John Barnes.
With that goal in the Maracana.
Yeah.
Incredible. Here's a caller now to Jim White.
If he didn't play the standby players, excuse me.
We all get like that on Christmas Day, don't we, about this time?
That is just one of my... I tell you what, I won't do this again, but could we just... I'd like to hear that. I'd like to hear that one more time. Just, it's such a cheap laugh. And it's the shock in the bloke's voice. Here we are, strap yourselves in, here we go again.
If he didn't play the standby players, excuse me.
Oh, excuse
me.
Me.
A couple of cans,
he
probably.
Is very, very surprised.
So,
and talking of that, here's Keith, the Aston Villa fan, who called extra times Adam Catterall. It was 2:30 in the morning, as we think you can tell.
Keith, how are you, mate? You good?
Hello there, mate.
How you doing, pal? Listen.
Now, I've just... Hello?
Yeah, go on, pal. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I've recently got back into Aston Villa. We've seen Dean McCall, and now Steve Bruce is our saviour. Who got it? In general, Ramsey,
Recently got back into Aston Villa and those golden black tins of Kestrel by the sound of it.
No, he's doing the breakfast show next week when Alan's off.
Sure
You won't
he
even be
is.
able to tell the difference.
Yes. Now, this is the caller to the full-time phone-in.
I genuinely think it's less about the system at the moment and more about individual errors in that.
Nice chicken legend, yes?
Yeah, you carry on, mate.
Yes, no
you
problem.
get your KFC sorted, don't worry about us. Or maybe that's what his friends call him, the large chicken legend. That's what the bloke's called.
Here's a West Ham fan on with Jim White.
I love Slaven. I love him as a manager, but he's not a good manager.
Oh, there we are. Yeah. You love him as a manager, but he's not a good manager. Over to Drive now, and it was competition time.
He's the two-time Bosnian Footballer of the Year.
Who is it, Neil?
Not sure that's right.
He fell off a cliff.
How you spelling that?
Another caller to the full-time phone-in now.
Listen, I done it. You know, I'm spitting me granny out and all kinds of things.
Terrible image. Yeah. So, thank you very much, caller. Here is another caller to Jim White and Bob Mills.
David, who's waiting on the phone. David, you're through to us. What would you like to say this lunchtime?
Good morning, Jim. Good morning,
Hi,
Barry.
guys. Hi, Dave. Hi, David. Hi, Dave.
Good morning, Bob. Down the boondocks, Bob.
No, Bob, I think is the operative word there, Bob.
Why didn't he just say good morning, everyone? Why does he have to individually say good morning, Jim, good morning, Perry, good morning, Bob?
I've got no idea, Andy.
Honestly, could have saved everybody a bit of time there.
What's next?
Yeah, it's a caller to Drive.
Steve's another United fan. What do you think, Steve? You're on talkSPORT.
Hi, is it me you're talking to?
Yeah, fair enough, a little bit aggressive. But it was a nice reply, and it deserved to be set to music, we felt.
I sometimes see you pass outside my door. Hello.
Is it me you're talking to?
Nice alternative lyric.
Yeah,
the sort of thing that Mike Parry does, isn't it? Where he comes up with an alternative lyric for a song. Yeah. So there we are. Thank you, callers, for all those fantastic contributions over the tree. Many different presenters. It's the best of the rest, we're calling it, the presenter Lucky Dip. And we start with Quinny recalling his appearance on The Weakest Link.
The Weakest Link first round. So I was just going to nearly swear that on it, from Goldie Luck and Horn. The Welsh rap group, he voted me off.
We actually had some of the boys in from Goldie Looking Horn, or Chain as you prefer. They loved it, didn't they?
Yeah, we played
loved it.
They did enjoy that. Here's newsreader Tanya Snuggs, and a name she's been struggling with all year.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Russia denies claims it has compromising information about Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Yeah, she has struggled with that, hasn't she?
It's quite unfortunate.
But she just can't hear it, can she? Anyway, Ray Wilkins now discussing Liverpool.
They're missing Mane immensely. I think Matip's been a big loss for them as well. Looks a super defender, the Camerooni.
Camerooni?
Wayne Camerooni.
I think it could be him, yeah.
Back to the news again, and a clip that's already become an all-time classic. Here's Daisy Gray.
Manchester City surrendered a 2-goal lead to draw 2-2 with Tottenham in the Premier League's late game. It means they're now 9 points behind leaders Chelsea, who play tomorrow. Earlier, Wayne Rooney became the best 1-1 record, and Sir Bobby Charlton. That's the latest. I'm Daisy Gray.
Yeah, we'll never forget the day that Wayne Rooney became the best 1-1 record and Sir Bobby Charlton. Where were you when it happened, Andy?
You can listen to it 1,000 times. You'll never work out how it happened.
No, that's true.
Ray Parlour now celebrating Burns Night with an interpretation of some of the great man's work.
As to ein wife Kate's advice, she tell thee will those wall esculum, a blethering, blustering, drunken bellum. Bellum?
No, go with Bellum, right. For the sake of decency, go with Bellum. So there is Ray Parlour. When we get in the work reading Burns poetry, really.
Not likely to, no.
And now it's time for Sean Custis in Press Pass, the opera.
So, Sutton keeper Wayne Shaw ate a pie against Arsenal.
Pie! Beautifully sung. Yeah.
Here's Dean Saunders on Breakfast back in March, and he does know how to tease the next topic.
Don't go anywhere as we discuss who could kill Pep Guardiola with a former Man City defender.
What, like throw him at him? Just fire Nicky Summerby from a cannon. And that's the way you're going to do it, clearly. So, back to Quinny again, who has a very controversial bolognese recipe for us.
My partner, just being honest, a brown and red sauce with a splash of Worcester sauce and tobacco makes a proper bolognese.
I don't like tobacco in my bolognese.
Not
really.
a big fan.
I don't mind it on my Christmas
Holborn.
lunch. Yeah, I sprinkle quite a bit over the turkey. It's lovely.
Bit of old Holborn on your Christmas dinner. It's always very nice. What's next then?
It's Ian Danter giving out contact details.
If you want to get in touch, it's at TalkSportKO on Twitter, at TalkDance for me, at Russ underscore Hargreaves.
Yeah, good recovery. Underhaul Hargreaves. What about that?
Tremendous.
Staying with Russ Hargreaves, here he is throwing a guess with his Homer Simpson impression.
One of the Oxford Rowers, I think, lost his medal when he did a sort of swallow dive into the Thames after the race. So I guess he'll be. Hello?
I'm still there, don't you worry.
Yeah, he's not worried.
That slight delay, I think, just threw him a bit, didn't it? Yeah.
That's right. This is Ray Wilkins again with Alan Brazil discussing Ray Parlour's working trip to Indonesia.
It's fantastic. They're opening 2 new pitches in the Indonesian. It's a real poor part. Slums, if you like.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Not really.
Not sure. Not the real slums. Particularly beautiful, I wouldn't think.
No.
This is Jim White's very own tribute to the great Edwin Starr.
The Icelandic head coach who joined us earlier on, he sent me a text message just a few moments ago.
So, tribute to Edwin Starr, and that really did deserve the treatment. Good work by Jim there, joining Edwin in song.
Yeah, and here's Tony Evans and Neil Ashton on the press pass.
It took a little bit of the focus off a really badly planned and executed performance.
Yeah, with that, when are they? When do you expect? When can we see?
I don't know. What?
All good questions, none of which are actually finished, Neil. But there we are. Back to Quinny. This was in May with a Leicester-related question for the listeners.
Now, will it be or will it not to be? Shakespeare, will he get the full-time job?
Oh, nice.
To paraphrase Shakespeare, which not many people do, really. No. They tend to go with the kind of source material. Quinny thinks he's better.
He is
clearly.
Better. And finally, earlier this year, Alan Brazil and Ray Parlour were joined in the studio by Wasp fly half Danny Cipriani ahead of their Premiership final.
It's going to be a tough challenge on Saturday.
Who'd you fancy there, Danny? Who'd you fancy to win the game?
Well, I'd like to back us because I'm playing for Wasps, obviously, but it's just,
it's a tough one.
Well, not really, not when you're playing. So that cup final you played against Chelsea Road, who'd you fancy? Well, I'm going to have to go with Chelsea, aren't I? So, yeah, it does seem very unlikely.
Excellent.
So there we have more clips of the week.